Hi guys, welcome to .NET Mob. This is my third video tutorial in the series of Crystal Report tutorials for beginners. In this video, we will discuss how to use stored procedures in our Crystal reports. In the previous video, we have discussed how to show C# data table in your Crystal report. I have given the video link in video description. So let's check how we can consume stored procedures in Crystal report. For that, I will be using a Windows Form application to show how it works. Even though you can use the same method in any C# application, whether it is WPF or ASP.NET Web application. In order to create a Windows Form application, go to File, then New, then Project, or you can use the shortcut Ctrl+Shift+N. Under Visual C#, select Windows, then Windows Form application. Then name your project here. I will name it as Store Procedure in Crystal Report in CRPT. Then select the location where you want to save this application. Then click on OK. So now we have a brand new Windows Form application. In this video tutorial, we are going to deal with two methods to create Crystal Report from Store Procedure. In the first method, we will call stored procedure from our C# code and we will pass the result into our Crystal report. In the second method, we will be calling the stored procedure directly from our Crystal report. So let's get started. I'm going to design this form with Crystal report viewer. Let me expand this form, and from the toolbox I'm going to drag Crystal report viewer under reporting heading. Drag into the form, then go to properties. I want to change name for this viewer CRV report. Then tool panel view to none, and I want to change this form title as Crystal report with stored procedure. In order to select the two methods, I will drag two buttons. Let me copy the button. That's it. I will name this button as btn method 1 and text will be method 1. Method 2 btn method 2. Before discussing our first method, let me do the DB part. For that, let me open my management studio here. I want to create a new database. For that, right click on databases, then click on new database. Then name your DB here. I will name it as product DB. Click on OK. So here you can see the newly created product DB here. I want to add a table into this DB. For that, right click on tables, then table. So let's create a table to store details of products, starting with product ID column. Data type will be int, then product name as worker 50, then product code as worker 50, then price as decimal 18.2, then count as int. Let me save the table. You can use the shortcut Ctrl+S or you can click on the save button here. Then name your table here. I will name it as product. Click on OK. In order to see the newly created table, expand these tables here. There you can see the product table. I have inserted some test rows into the product table. Now let me create a store procedure. For that, click on new query here. Make sure that we have selected the proper database product DB here. In order to create a new store procedure, you can type like this: create pros, then procedure name will be product under X price, and we have a parameter at price of the type decimal 18.2 as begin end. So in this store procedure, we will retrieve all the product details whose amount is less than this price threshold. SQL query will be like this: select star from product where price less than given price. Instead of select star, I will specify column names here: product name, then product code, price, and count. In order to execute this query, you can use the shortcut F5 or click on this execute button here. So we have created the store procedure successfully. In order to see the newly created store procedure, you can expand programmability. Then under store procedure, it should be there. If not, click on this refresh button here. That's it. Now back to Visual Studio. Before explaining method 1, you need to change your AppConfig file. For that, let me open my AppConfig file here. And you need to add this tag into your startup tag. Use legacy v2 runtime activation policy to true. Now back to our form. In order to work with Crystal report, I will add 2 folders into our project. One is for Crystal report, so I will name it as Crystal report, and one is for dataset. So under dataset, I am going to create a new dataset for product. For that, right click on dataset, then add new item, then select data from the left panel, then select data set here. Then I will name it as DS product. I use DS as prefix for dataset. Click on add. I'm going to add a data table here. For that, right click, then add data table. Then you can name your table here. I will name it as product. Then we can add columns from our product table. So it will be, we don't want product ID since we have not selected product ID in our store procedure. So starting with product name. For that, right click, then add column, or you can use the shortcut Control L, product name, then product code, then price and count. That's it. So we have created a data set here, DS product, and we need this data set in method 1 only. Now let me create a Crystal report. For that, right click on the folder, then add new item, then reporting, then select Crystal report. I will name it as CRPT method 1. Then click on add. Then it will open a dialog box like this. Keep the option as it is using the report wizard. Click on OK. Then I will select the data set from here. So I will select the product table under DS product dataset, then click on finish. Let me design the cursor report. Before that, I will delete the default initial field from our cursor report, that is print date and page number. I will add a report header here. So I want to make this in a same line. For that, I will select and right click, then align tops. Let me reduce the details section height, and I will change the column header style. For that, select all of them, then right click for my multiple objects, then go to font, uncheck underline. I will add a bold style to these column headers, click on OK. So let's implement method 1. For that, I will use the method 1 button click event. In that, I will call the stored procedure product under X price, and we will retrieve the result into a C# data table, and we will pass the data table into our customer report. That's it. For that, I will use the method 1 button click event. Double click on the button. First of all, I will create an object of SQL connection here. SQL connection. So in this case, I need to import the system.data.sql client namespace. Then SQL con equals new SQL connection. Inside that, we need to pass our connection string. So under the folder crystal report, you can see a crystal report CRPT method, and I want to rename that into CRPT method 1. For that, right click on it, then rename. I will rename it into CRPT method 1. Click enter. That's it. So we will be creating another crystal report for method 2. Now back to the event. First of all, we will check whether the SQL connection is open or not. If it is closed, we will open the SQL connection. Now we will make use of SQL data adapter to retrieve the result from our stored procedure. SQL data adapter SQL DA equals new SQL data adapter. Inside that, we need to pass our stored procedure name. For that, I will copy the stored procedure name from our stored procedure and pasting here, and second parameter will be our SQL connection SQL con, and then we will set the data adapter command. Select command dot command type equals command type dot stored procedure, and we will pass the stored procedure parameter. Select command dot parameters dot add with value. Parameter name is price. Copy paste here, and in this case I will pass a value 65. Now I will create an object of data table here. DTBL equals new data table, and then we will fill the result into this data table by calling the fill function. SQL dot fill DTBL. So we have the stored procedure result inside this data table. SQL con dot close, and now we need to pass this data table into a stored procedure. First of all, I will create an object of the stored procedure CRPT method 1. CRPT method 1 equals new CRPT method 1, and we will set the cursor report data source like this, database dot tables, and we will pass the data table name here that you can see in the data set as product. So I will type here product dot set data source, and we will pass our data table here dtbl, and we will set this crystal report into a crystal report viewer. For that, first of all, I will reset the report source to null, and we will set this crystal report into the crystal report viewer crpt method 1. Let me run this application. For that, click on the start button here. Now click on method 1. So that's it. Here you can see the details of products from our product table whose amount is below 65. So in for the last two columns you can see a misalignment there. For that, you can align these headers to the right part, or you can align these raw details to left part. For that, let me go to my crystal report crpt method 1 and select the column headers and right click, format multiple objects, and then go to paragraph, then alignment to right. Click on OK. Save. Let me run this application again. Click on method 1. Now it looks fine. So in method 1 we called store procedure from our C# code, and we filled the result into C# data table, and we passed the data table into crystal report crpt method 1 through the dataset ds product. Now let's move to method 2. For that, I'm going to add new crystal report, add new item, reporting, select crystal report. I will name the crystal report as crpt method 2. Click on add, then keep the option as it is using the report wizard. Click on OK. In this case, we are going to add new connection into data sources. For that, let me expand create new connection folder, then go to oildb ADO, expand the folder, then click on make new connection. Then we need to select the server. So in this case, I will select Microsoft OilEDB provider for SQL Server, then click on next. So here we need to pass our connection information. In this case, I will use Windows authentication mode, so I will select integrated security to true. So if you are going to use the SQL Server authentication mode, you can uncheck this, and you need to pass user ID and password. So in this case, I will stick with Windows authentication mode. Then we need to pass server name here, local /SQLE 2012. Then we need to select database from this drop down. I will select product DB, then click on finish. So here you can see a connection local /SQLE 2012. Expand this connection, expand product DB, expand DBO. Below that you can see stored procedures. Here we have our stored procedure product under X price. Select the procedure, then click on this button with right arrow. So it will pop up another dialog box. In that we need to pass default values for our stored procedure parameters. So in this case we have a parameter at price. So whether you can set it as null or you can enter some value here. For now I will set it as null. Click on OK. Then click on finish here. So in this case I will remove special fields, print date and page number, and in the file explorer you can see database fields here, and then you can see the stored procedure product under X price. Below that you can see the columns from our stored procedure, product name, product code, price and count. So we can make use of these columns in our crystal report instead of dataset. So we don't need to use dataset in this method. Now let's design the report. For that, I will drag text object from the toolbox into report header, and I will enter method 2 here, and I'm going to format the object. Let me increase the font size to somewhere 24 and style will be bold. Click on OK. Let me expand the object. Now I'm going to add columns from our stored procedure. Go to Field Explorer, then drag these columns: product name, product code, price, and count. I want to format these table headers. For that, select all of them, then right click, format multiple objects, then go to font, uncheck underline, selecting bold from style drop down, click on OK. Let me decrease the size of details section here, and you can see the parameter fields from our stored procedure here as price. If you click on main report preview here, you can see the preview of our crystal report. At the moment we don't have any product details here since we have passed null value to the parameter product. Now let's consume this crystal report CRPT method 2 using the button method 2. So let me create button click event for this button. For that, let me double click on it. Let me create an object of the crystal report here, so that store procedure in CRPT crystal report dot CRPT method 2. CRPT method 2 will be the object name equals new CRPT method 2, and we are going to set this crystal report to our crystal report viewer. For that, let me copy these two lines from our method 1 and pasting here and changing CRPT method 1 to CRPT method 2. So we are going to pass value into this parameter field from our C# so we can create the report dynamically. For that, you can do something like this: CRPT method 2 dot set parameter value. Then first parameter will be the parameter name itself, so it is at price, and I will pass a value here as 65. That's it. Let me run this application. Click on method 2. That's it. Here we have the product details whose price is under 65. So that's it for today, guys. We have created crystal report from a stored procedure with a parameter. You can download this project from the link given below in video description. In the previous video, we have discussed how to create crystal report from a C# data table, and I have given the link in video description. And in the next video, we will discuss sub reports in crystal report. Please be subscribed to my channel .NET Mob for more awesome videos like this. Please comment your feedbacks in the comment box below, and don't forget to like and share this video with your friends and colleagues so that they can benefit from this. Have a nice day. Bye.